Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 99 from Luckyfish. This episode is jam-packed as we're busy with the countdown to launch.
Next week we celebrate our 100th episode with a very special video for you, just in time for a Christmas break.
And straight after that we're going to go live as we relaunch Luckyfish and put her back in the water where she belongs. So be sure to subscribe and turn notifications on.
The bell is important, make sure ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Before we get started this week, the really great news is that Luckyfish has been syndicated. And we've got 5 guys on the wait list for next time when a share becomes available. We'll be welcoming the 3 new co-owners in the coming weeks while we explore the beautiful coastal waters of Belize and right here in Guatemala. This is a really exciting development for the Luckyfish YouTube channel as we explore yacht syndication for folks who are limited on time or limited on budget like us. If you're interested in joining us for stage 2, the Big Cat Syndicate, then head over to syndicatedsailing.com, fill out the form and I'll send you the info. Don't leave it too long because that boat's filling up fast too. In other news, we've been really lucky to find this great spot, Marina. The owners have been really helpful to us and we take great pleasure in giving them a shout out in this video. It really is a comfortable spot to base ourselves while we're working on Luckyfish. Apart from this really affordable cabin, they have a swimming pool here, so we've been busy drown-proofing Leo before he starts sailing on Luckyfish.
Mummy's here.
We might get his swimming nappies, and bring him back. What do you think?
Yeah, it's nice and warm. Now we're gonna practice our swimming. Holding breath, part 1. 1, 2, 3, and go. Oh, good one.
That was good, Leo. Well done, well done.
He swallowed water a couple of times, then learned a trick, right? Be careful.
Yeah, it's fun. We're going for a little walk.
Okay.
There's a lot of focus going on here. You want to see the face? He's pretty, wow. I mean, it's mind-blowing for him, isn't it, really? It's the biggest bath he's ever been in. Look at you floating. Wow, that's pretty nice, isn't it? Eh? Look at that. He's a good lad. His little heart's beating quite fast. This is very exciting, of course. All very new. Someone's going to have some big dreams tonight. Okay, that's about enough for now. Let's get cracking with this week's video. I'm Stuart and this is Zaya. Normally we are sailing our reasonably priced catamaran, Luckyfish, across an ocean or around the islands. But this year we stayed in Mongolia to have this little guy. Subscribe and join our journey. I'm just walking down to the Yamaha place, which is virtually next door to Marine's. Makes it pretty handy. We haven't got reverse gear in the right-hand engine. I'm pretty pushed for time right now with all the jobs, so rather than do it myself, I'm going to engage this Yamaha mechanic, come over and have a look at it and see what he can do about it. The tricky thing is that not many people here speak English. In fact, there's very little English spoken at all. It's all Spanish, and our Spanish is atrocious. We'd really like to have taken the time to learn some. There's some live-in places in a place called Antigua that specialise in Spanish lessons. We just didn't get time to go and spend a week in one of those to even give us the basics. Luckily that little beast is on a leash. So just heading down to the Yamaha guy now. I'll be using Google Translate to try and get my message across to him. Well, that was pretty successful. The mechanic seems to understand what's going on and we're just going back to Ram right now to meet up with the mechanic who's already over there. So hopefully you'll be able to have a quick look at it today and get any parts we need pronto. Anya just kindly drove me over to meet with Marado here. He's working on Pura Vida, which I understand means pure life.
Hola.
The guys are just taking off the lower leg. They're going to take it over to the workshop and have a look at the workings inside. I haven't had one off down to the gears before, so not absolutely sure what they're going to see.
Yeah. Probamos. Neutro. Para adelante. Ahí está.
We've just seen this problem here.
Aquí ve. Aquí está el problema. Mira porque esto no hace que empuje para allá.
Yeah, not in the lower leg at all. It could well be neutral, spinning free,
Atrás.
and then atrás, which must be reverse, locked in gear.
Ahí está.
Back to neutral, and
Ahí
then
tenga.
back to reverse, in reverse gear. Forward gear, avante,
Neutro.
neutral,
Para adelante.
no, forward,
Está neutro.
forward
Voy para
working
atrás.
too. Now just final adjustments, I
Espera,
guess, to
Marco.
get it in the
Espera.
middle.
Para arriba. No quiere para abajo. Okay.
He's just adjusting the length of the adjustment rod or the gear
Ahí no lo
gear
mira.
shift.
Ahí está neutro. Para adelante.
Wow. Alright, well that was pretty simple. Well, following day, and something about that fix is troubling me. It just seemed too easy. I can recall last year, Mick and I spent a lot of time working underneath the boat, fiddling with that gear shift adjustment rod. We were right at the end of its adjustment range, and we couldn't get reverse to stay in gear. It would engage, but then it would flick out and grind. So I'm just wondering, they were testing it with their hands yesterday and it was locking, but I wonder if it'll actually stay in gear. Unfortunately, the ignition switch was left on while we were away, so the engine start battery has gone completely flat. I don't know how long it's been sitting there flat, so I'd say it's probably ruined. I'm just heading over the bridge to Dismar, one of the local marine suppliers, to replace the engine start battery for the windlass and auxiliaries on the boat. It's a beautiful morning here on the Rio Dulce, and you can see the lovely panoramic view you get from the top of the bridge here. So that's the mission this morning: replace the engine start battery, give the engine a start and test that reverse gear. So new house batteries have arrived. This kind gentleman has been helping me get them up on the boat. Now many of you viewers who are a lot smarter than I am would probably have worked out what he was trying to tell me a couple of minutes ago, but I finally worked out that he would like the old batteries that we're replacing. I gather they have a value here. Good God. Excellent. Tu nombre?
Elder.
Elder.
Sí.
Okay, see. Adios. So out with the old, in with the new. Same with the house batteries. If you're wondering about cost, as I'm sure many of you are, these are all lead acids, deep cycle, sealed batteries. About $1,000 to do the 5 house batteries, and that one there was $190 in the United States. Actually, this one last year, it was only a year old, but the battery charger says it is NAF. Basically it's sat flat for a long time. This new one, same price, bought here in Guatemala this morning. And these 130 amp hour house batteries I ordered from US Batteries in the United States, and they came down by ship from Miami. It would be about $5,000 to do it with lithiums, but as I've explained before, we decided not to go down that pathway because there's multiple owners on the boat now, and they are to me they seem to be a little bit of a science exercise to maintain them and then troubleshoot them when there's issues. So for $1,000 to do the house batteries, gee, if we have to replace those every 5 years or so on the boat, not a big deal. So that's 105 amp hours being replaced by 130 amp hours, so a little bit more weight, but we've got another 25 amp hours times 5, another 125 amp hour total storage, which will be very useful considering we've added a lot more load onto the boat, you know, since Cape Town. Oh, sounds good. Tilt switch. Yeah, I can feel those engines moving. That is good news. What about port? Get the port key in. Yeah, that's kicking. Tilt switch. Beautiful. Happy days. I'm just replacing these aluminium rivets holding the hinge here for the swim ladder dinghy ramp. I think Dan used aluminium because he didn't want dissimilar metals. This is an aluminium hinge. I riveted into aluminium box section, and the aluminium rivets themselves are starting to corrode. So I'm replacing them with Monel and using this stuff here, Duralac, for bonding dissimilar metals and not having any electrolysis or corrosion. And I ran out of Duralac, so now I'm using this product. Both of them are really pricey. The Duralac's about $50 a tube, and this Tef Gel is $40 for a tiny little syringe full like this. But if it prevents corrosion, then I guess it's worth it. Well, there go the new house batteries in the starboard hull. I've just tied them down as well. We've got the surveyor coming a couple of days. One of the insurance requirements is that you have a valid survey. So I've got Casey coming on Wednesday, and hopefully we'll go through with flying colours. No, I'm kidding. No, there's a few things that he will pick. The ones I know of, Life Raft is due for a service. Flares are out of date. EPIRB battery, I have a replacement for that, which will be good for another 5 years. We've got hold downs on the gas bottles, hold downs on the batteries. They're ones surveyors like to go for. We don't have a home port labelled on the transom or the back of the hull, so we might get picked up for that. I believe they're pretty tough on that in these parts. Aside from that, if he turns up anything else, I might be disappointed, but we'll see. And this is the battery bank in the port hull. I've just replaced the 3 105 amp hours with 3 130 amp hour batteries and put the hold down in. I tell you what, getting those old ones out, Dan made a lovely snug fit here, but boy, it made it hard to replace batteries. Now it's just a matter of putting all the wiring back together the way it was, and we should be good to go. And thanks to the marvels of video editing, there she is, all wired up. Only job remaining now is to put a bit of grease on these terminals to stop them corroding and put the battery charger on. Give it a good old top up, get it into float state and get these batteries off to a good start. Here's something else the surveyor's going to be interested in. The gas locker, and he'll be wanting to check to make sure these bottles are tied down securely. And there's the bilge pump hose. That reminds me, he will probably want to see the only bilge pump on board the boat in operation, so now's a good chance to give it a test. It's quite an ingenious setup that Dan's come up with. Just one bilge pump, but it has a roaming hose which can go to any corner of the two hulls. But firstly, let's make sure this thing's working. pump worked fine, that's great. Now I'm going to go and check the fridges and lights down in the port hull, just go and see if everything's working down there. Okay, here in the port hull, and the voltmeter looks like things are good. Just turn on this fridge. Take a minute for the compressor to kick in. Yeah, it's running. Now to see if the plate gets cold. Give that one a minute. Okay, forward fridge. It's running. I can hear the compressor. Give it a second or two, see if we get some cold through. Nice. That one's working. And the forward fridge, yeah, I can feel cold there too. Wow, 2 from 2 on the fridges. Lighting, it's all good. Good all round. Ceiling light. Yeah, liking that. Well, last thing to test in this hull is the water maker, but that's going to have to wait until I get out to sea and we get some nice clean seawater to give it a test. Well, over here in the starboard hull, and I'm looking at the battery monitor for the new house batteries, and it's going to need to be reset and recalibrated. So I'm about to do that right now. So I'm going to remove this thin red wire here, which goes off to a shunt down there. That'll disconnect the gauge, and then I'll reconnect it, and which reboots the gauge, and then we'll go in and calibrate for the total capacity of these batteries, which is 260 amp hours. They've just been fully charged overnight. I've had the charger running on them, trickle charging, and they are in a float state now, which is the ideal time to set the maximum charge capacity. Luckily I don't have to remember all this each time I do it. There is a manual on board for the gauge. And it looks like the BM1's coming to life at last. It took a good probably 5 or 10 minutes there for it to start to produce a percentage of charge, a state of charge for the batteries. Looks like we're up to 90% now. Should go right up to 100 to represent full state of charge for these batteries. Okay, while we're waiting for the BM1 to calibrate itself, I'm going to test the VHF radio. That's a good sound. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And the chart plotter and nav, which I think is on wind instruments. Or GPS. I have forgotten. Alright, we'll go up and have a look. Well, all this has come to life really well. I'm so happy. Looks like the charts have loaded. I have a card in here. Picking up a few signals on the AIS from nearby boats. Sea temperature, which is air temperature, 26.3. True wind direction. Speed over the ground. Course over the ground. Well, the solar panels are all in shade because of the covers, but I can put the wind jenny on and put a bit of charge back into the batteries. That releases the electronic braking system. So even with flat batteries, the default state is for the blades to be locked, or they spin very slowly. It requires a little bit of charge to release it's like an electromagnetic braking system on the rotor. So now just we're seeing a green light flashing there, so it looks like we may be starting to see a bit of charge coming in. There is variable gusty winds outside. It was still, and now there's a puff going through, so looking good. Okay, that's about it for this week. I hope you enjoyed that episode, and before we go, we'd both like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. As always, if you enjoyed the video, leave your comment below, give it a like, thank you, and as always, a huge thanks to our patrons who, without them, these videos wouldn't be possible. Bye everyone.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and thank you for watching.